Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to our student testimonial. Today, I have Steve with me. My name is Latoya. I'm one of the co-founders of the Profit Room. We are a stock market educational company. We're focused on helping individuals like yourself build wealth, create wealth, or additional income to help you basically get free. I'm not going to do a lot of talking here because it's mainly to showcase Stephen and his success. Stephen, throughout our little small conversation, I found out that you were a part of our last live group class. This is of September 2020. We haven't done a live group class since. Instead, what we did, March of 2021, we released stock market stimulus in a form of a course. So basically, what we did was take all of our group class recordings, we added some content as well, and we just did an official launch only because of schedule conflicts. So, congratulations on being a part of the last live group.
Yeah,
And I know when you was talking, he's like, oh, I didn't know that. But yes, you were a part of the last live group. So, what I would like you to do is just tell everyone about your experience, the process of that live class, and especially the support you got amongst your peers.
definitely. So Stephen Leon, I was part of the options group class for 2020. It was honestly life changing, and I say that because not just because of the obvious. Like people are like, oh yeah, you end up making money, but it's not really about that. It's really about learning a life skill, a lifelong skill, the support that you get within the group. So basically, I started. It's on Zoom. It was a remote group class, and the way Latoya and Ernest break down the information. I mean, it was so simple. I wouldn't say it was super simple to understand, but for a newbie, somebody coming right in, you may be intimidated. You may be like, man, I don't know math, or I don't know anything about the stock market. Like what am I gonna how am I gonna understand this? But they present it in such a way that you don't feel overwhelmed, you don't feel intimidated. It's broken down kind of in steps, so you're not getting too much, too soon. So it's very hard to jump ahead because you don't really have anything to jump
Yeah.
ahead to. You just got to focus on what you have right in front of you presently, and on top of that, just within the group, because here's the thing, everybody's really hungry to learn. you know that's the thing that you really see, the encouragement. Everybody really wants to learn. You can ask questions. You don't have to feel like nervous or something to ask questions. People are new, so you're not really bothering anybody. They want to help. And then as the course goes along, I mean, this happened to me. I think you always have these aha moments, because there have been times when I'm like, I just don't get this. What is Latoya actually talking about? you know. And then a few days will go by, and I'll reread my notes. Always taking notes. Go back, read my notes, highlight my notes, and then I'll go back and I'm like, oh, there it is. Boom, got it. Now I get it. And so I think those aha moments really lend themselves to the progression, to your progression in learning, understanding, building confidence. And I mean, it's really, and then actually paper trading, right? Like that's what you want to see, if this stuff actually works.
Right, right. Exactly.
That's the real thing, because it's like you go from hearing it, writing it, reading it, studying it, implementing it,
Right.
and then you're like, whoa, it actually works. Which is crazy to be surprised that it works, but it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it feels good that it does.
Yeah, I mean, the way we structured the class in particular is how we structure literally all of our programs. It doesn't matter if you are a fresh beginner, a newbie, someone that's intermediate, or someone that's been trading for a while but just struggling with finding some sort of consistency. Because what we find the most important is that foundation. A lot of people, when they start trading, they initially skip the basics, they skip the foundations, and they just go right ahead in trading. And they can't really figure out, man, why am I so inconsistent? Why they're not getting it? So that's why we structured it that way. Whereas we're literally spoon feeding you to make sure that, okay, this is our first week. This is what you're stuck with in a sense. Here's your assignment. Go do the assignment, really grasp the concept before we meet again the following week. And then we work on building that foundation, building that strong structure. So I'm glad you actually stated the process. Enjoy the process too. I always tell people it may feel slow at first, but you have to fall in love with the process because eventually that process is going to become so repetitive to the point where it's going to be second nature, where you're just now implementing, you're applying, and then you're going to see the results ultimately, you know? So one thing that I like too is the group support. You mentioned something very important, like we call him the OG. Everybody remember George Hasty. George is still, trading like the monster he is and helping others along the process to just say, hey, just follow the structure. More importantly, focus. Let everyone know what advice that he told you during that process. What was key? What was important?
What was important was, he said, don't try to move too fast because I think it's a tendency, I think it's a natural tendency. You get this information, you start thinking, well, let me back up. I think because of the time we're inundated with, you'll see Instagram and YouTube and people making money and, standing next to a Lamborghini that may not be theirs. And, and they're like, yeah, I'm a trader. And then, you get this information and then you connect that image you had and you're like, maybe let me just try this on my own. Let me just
Right.
get ahead of everybody. And I remember George saying, don't do that. Just take your time, move slow. Also, understand your lifestyle. Do you actually have free time during the day to trade? Or do you have a family? Do you have a full-time job? Like, you know, what do you do? Do you have time for this? And do you have time to invest into the education? And then, he was just really telling me the importance of paper trading. Don't kind of devalue paper trading because it's not real money.
Can you state that one more time, please? Because I've seen where students devalue the paper trading process because that's what we do for assignment. Hey, go simulate what you've learned and get back to us with the trades before they actually play out. And then we'll see exactly what you sent to us. And like, okay, it didn't play out because XYZ, go do it again. And a lot of people don't like that process. But then they realize when they're no longer in the course, they didn't take that process seriously. They're like, dag, I really should have. Yeah, you should have, because it's literally trading. It's
Yeah.
not like, hey, we're just giving you busy work. No, we're trying to make sure that you understand the process because this is the process you're going to use indefinitely. This is it.
I mean, paper trading is it. I mean, I don't know how, to be honest with you, I don't know how you wouldn't paper trade throughout your career as a trader.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a one time or initial activity or initial homework thing. I think you should continually paper trade throughout your career as a trader to test your strategies and just to see if you still have that basic understanding. Maybe you walked away for a little while and life happened. If that's the case, you should come back and paper trade first.
Right.
You shouldn't just jump, oh, let me just jump in live. No. And so I remember him telling me, George mentioning, hey, take paper trading seriously. Do not devalue it. Actually, that is where you really learn the meat of what you learn and can you actually implement it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to mess up. And that's where the group support comes in,
Yes.
and say, hey, I put this trade in. I thought, but I thought wrong. Can you guys help me? And that's I think a beautiful part of the group. I'll be honest with you, the group and support is really probably one of the top three things that attracted me to Profit Room, because I kind of just didn't see that anywhere else. That was
Mhm.
genuine. And so this is genuine group support. People actually care. They'll answer your questions. They'll reach out to you and just see how you're doing.
Right. Paper trading process, I'm going to highlight it again. Definitely important, especially when you're testing out new strategies, because it allow you to back test, see where you went wrong, adjust, fix it. Don't repeat the same mistake, and go ahead and move forward. So I'm going to reiterate that when you're testing out new strategies, when you're consistently doing it through paper trading, then you will gain the confidence now to actually use your real money and put exactly what you did in paper theory into your real account. And all of that pays off. It just pays off. It just is a real thing.
It is.
Definitely.
It is. And I remember I think Ernest might have talked about this in one of he was talking about like a trader psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, it was an emotional experience,
Mm,
you know, to in paper trading to eat, because like I traded paper trading like it was my money. And even when I lost the trade in the beginning, I was like down. I was like depressed for like 3 days. I was like, what's going on in my life? You know, like this is not real money. But why can't I emotionally handle this? And so I was like, okay, let me get back to my journal. What was going on that week? All right. And then understanding that relying on the group for support, not just trying to handle everything by myself. Because sometimes you are trading can be lonely. It's you and that computer. But I think when you reach out to your group and really say, hey, I'm having a little difficulty, can you help me? Can you answer my questions? But then understanding over time, we trade in probabilities. So not putting all of your emotional eggs, if you will, in one basket, having a life outside of trading, you know, putting that trade and going to take a jog, spending time with your family, doing things. So it's not, like, oh my God, my whole life is trading, Yeah, that I think that's important. I think
yeah,
that's
definitely. And one thing you did say too, you spoke about the lifestyle aspect of it and what you see on Instagram, etc. We don't do lifestyle marketing intentionally. We think is a huge disservice, matter of fact, you know what I mean? What you choose to do with your profits, your money, or whatever the case may be, it is what it is. But I believe it sends kind of the wrong message. Yes, you can achieve all of those things through trading, but when that person initially gets involved, what are they really, you know what I mean? Like what they're going after. Like is
right.
is is it something more like intangible? Is that what makes you feel like you're free, or do you really want your time back to spend it with your family? I feel like if the reason is more significant, more than likely you're going to succeed because you're not chasing after the wrong things. Does
Yes,
that make sense?
yes. I think what would you guys call it? A freedom trader or something like
Freedom
that?
traders, correct.
Yeah, freedom trader. And not and knowing that time is really valuable. I mean, you can't really get it back. So how do we create more time? Yeah, I think the YouTube and Instagram stuff, not knocking anybody who does that, but I've noticed that certain people who chase that, they do lack a lot of fundamental stuff. Like I've seen comments like, under a Lamborghini post, like, so what's support? Like, you want you're gonna trade and you don't know what support is? I mean, that's kind of dangerous to me. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm not gonna judge you. But yeah, so that's kind of crazy.
So where you're at currently in your actual process?
Well, so I still paper trade, but I'm actually gone live with my money,
Awesome.
and that I think that's a big step, because I knew that the only way I would go live is if I felt foundationally I was ready. I could be clear. I understand when I should trade. I don't think you should trade every day. Um, I think that you need to understand the risks, money management, account management, not, you know, risking more than you should. Always staying with the news, fundamental news, understanding your technical analysis, and still reaching out to the group. So I'm trading live. Um, I'm very concerned. I learned some things about myself. I'm actually
Mm.
quite conservative.
And trading will do that. It will reveal who you are. Ultimately, yeah, you'll find out exactly who you are. If you're conservative, you're aggressive, if you have a nature, kind of have to get even, you know what I mean?
Right.
So definitely.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that. And I thought I made an assumption about myself. I thought I was going to be that guy that's like, all right, I'm going to go after it. I see it. But then I found out that I'm actually a bit conservative. I'm like, wait, I'm gonna let that play out. I'm gonna let that play out. I'm gonna maybe two more candlesticks. I don't need to jump in just yet. And that's teaching me a lot because the market can be choppy and there's just no need to actually be aggressive. And then on top of that, it also teaches you to read a lot. If you weren't a reader, you're probably going to become one because you do want to know what news is happening, what's going on in the world, which can affect your trading and affect news and affect all kinds of stuff. So,
How much did you learn doing that? Because I'm sure that watching the news or reading the news opened up your eyes to more than anything you would have never seen if you didn't take or partake in trading.
yeah, it opened up my eyes. Like, I mean, you start to pay more attention to maybe a presidential briefing.
Mm,
When Biden says something, that can affect the market. Um, when economic news comes out, maybe the Fed will say something that will affect the market somehow, which consequently will affect your trading if you should trade or you shouldn't. Um, and so now I try to make it a point to, check out Yahoo Finance. Um, you know, check out Market Watch. What's going on, and staying on top of stuff, not just like blindly going in. So yeah, it makes a huge difference. And now what's funny is I think about those things throughout the day when before I did.
right, right.
I'll just be I'll be jogging and I'm like, oh, I gotta check Yahoo Finance in an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah.
This is something that's going to happen. Yeah, that's awesome. What would you suggest for new traders or anyone that may be looking into getting involved trading in the markets?
I would say first and foremost, definitely connect and check out Profit Room. I say that because if you really, as a new trader, what's really gonna take you to the next level, in my opinion, is community and support. Because I feel like a lot of new people may be intimidated. You know, even if you traded and then kind of you fell out of it for a little while, and now you're getting back into it, it still can be a little intimidating, right? There's maybe I know there's the same strategies and things like this, but it's just not so easy when it's especially your money. And to be honest with you, if you're a new trader, you shouldn't even be putting up your money. You should be focusing on learning, resources, and paper trading. But the community is what is going to say, hey, you need to focus on paper trading. You need to focus on resources and education. And having people that have your best interest at heart, that's what I would tell new traders to really focus on. People that actually want to help you.
What would you say to traders that are struggling with the process? Those that are self-taught or those that took a prior course and they feel like, you know what, no one can help me.
Yeah, I mean, everybody struggles. There's no such thing as 100% win rate. You know, I would say definitely go back to paper trading. That's for sure. If you have notes, go back to day one of your notes and just literally skim your notebook, skim your notepad, and kind of go back to the basics. Because maybe you never know, maybe you got caught up in one pattern. I'm obsessed with double tops, you know, you know.
That's awesome advice. That's awesome advice. Earners generally say there might be something in your, your old coursework that you can dust off and utilize as you really give it 100%. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that's I completely agree. There's something there that you have missed for sure.
Yeah, I've found myself, I've found myself getting trade and then midway kind of lose confidence or, not be sure. And so then I have to go back and it's like, okay, why did I get in the trade in the first place? What was was there a triggering event? Was it me just, because on it seems like Monday is the day when it's almost like traders are hungry. Like Monday comes, I guess because you can't trade on Saturday and Sunday, and everyone's like, I gotta trade. And
Mm,
so I'm thinking, if it's a Monday, do I necessarily need to trade? Do I need to make today an education day and just study my notes? And then maybe I'll get back to it Tuesday, Wednesday. So just asking yourself, kind of self-reflection, asking yourself those type of questions and really being honest.
that's key. Honesty is key. Being honest with yourself, honest with how you react to the markets. That's very important. Understanding yourself. You're definitely going to understand yourself through the process. That's why we always have to go back to paper trading, because when you fix certain things within the paper trading process, you understand exactly like, okay, I tend to do this all the time. I need to change this. Or when I'm wrong here, this is what I usually do. This is how I react. Maybe I need to change this so I can get a different outcome. So it's really just understanding yourself. One thing I'm going to point out about Mondays too, you did say a lot, like a lot of traders are hungry just to trade, especially if they don't trade other markets, futures, or forex that's generally open up on Sunday evenings, or even crypto. Crypto's nonstop, right? So, with that said, usually I find Tuesday works very well. Let the dust settle a little bit,
Yep.
because Mondays can be extremely volatile, depending, especially if we're coming from something that may have news overnight that causes the market to either gap up higher or gap down lower than Friday's initial close. So you have to be prepared for certain things you didn't necessarily anticipate during your whole weekend analysis, because the market actually gapped. So I just wanted to throw that out there just to keep that in mind. So you've actually, you're doing it correctly. Like, I'm gonna hold off on Monday, reevaluate, see what's going on Tuesday.
And I also, when that statement you made, for some reason, what popped in my head is, make sure you have a stop loss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because as a new trader, I've read comments all over like, oh yeah, I'm just going all in. And I'm thinking, all in, what does that mean? That means you got a stop loss, right? you know, because I couldn't imagine with
Yeah, there's this that gambling mentality. The only thing that I will say, on behalf of what Ernest and I do drill in our students' head, is the process. Every trade should have three components all the time: your entry, your stop loss, and your target. All right. And just follow that plan, all will be well. Do you have any parting words?
um parting words. I just want to say thank you, Profit Room. Anybody looking to start out as a trader, um, get educated, have awesome, positive community support, I think you should definitely hit up the Profit Room. You will not regret it. It will be life changing. So thank you, Latoya. Thank you, Ernest in the Profit Room, and I'm still in the groups and always commenting and stuff. So
Definitely. And we'll definitely see you in there. Once again, thanks, Steve. Everyone else, be safe.
later.